Hey, you're watching Best Practices Unveiled, bringing you conversations from the 34th Annual Florida Family Child Care Home Association Conference, where leaders, advocates, and educators come together to inspire, connect, and grow. By the way, did you have your mushroom coffee already? Hey. We got Homer here with us. We're at the Florida Family Child Care Home 34th Annual Conference here in Kissimmee, Florida. Homer was one of the presenters for a session today, and he's going to share a little bit about what that session entailed, give us a little bit about his background. Welcome, Homer.
Okay, great. Glad to be here.
Thank you. So what was your presentation on today?
Well, I'm an author. I'm also a professional guardian. We take care of persons with dementia and Alzheimer's, and we take care of about 100 clients. But as we take care of clients with Alzheimer's and dementia, we recognize that there is a group that doesn't get much discussion. The broad name is caregivers. Caregivers are under more stress sometimes than the actual person with Alzheimer's.
Absolutely.
But in the section on caregivers, we forget that there are children attached to these, oftentimes minor children.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that by statistics that there are 7 million people, and some people believe it's twice that amount of people that have Alzheimer's in the United States. But what we don't discuss is the fact that there are probably 1.4 to 1.5 minor children attached to these people with Alzheimer's. So the question becomes, how do we talk to them? We can't just tell them grandpa's having a silly moment. We can't just tell them to get over it. We're really in a position now where kids want to know. And if we don't call it what it is, if we don't explain to children what Alzheimer's is or what dementia is, then they're just going to make up their own explanations. And worst of all, sometimes they blame themselves, and we want to avoid that.
Right. Wow, that is a big deal.
Yes.
So you published what's the name of the book?
Well, we have 3 books. The book that we discussed today at the center is called The Memory Box and Charlotte's Big Surprise. Charlotte is a precocious 5-year-old child. She has a grandpa that she loves very much. Her grandpa has dementia, but she's having a really great day like most of us. She's going through her life, doing what kids do, playing, jumping, doing what they do. And all of a sudden she gets this piece of surprising news. She's going to go visit her grandpa. And you know, there's only one person she loves more than anyone in the whole wide world. She loves her parents, but she loves her grandpa the most. So she jumps with glee. But that glee then turns to despair when she goes to visit her grandpa. She runs up to him, she hugs him, and he asks her that magic question.
Who are you?
Who are you, little girl? And who is that lady with you? The lady with her was her grandmother. So we have an emotional shift there, and that is the training moment. She's there with her parents, mother, father, and grandparents, but on purpose, the parents in this book, on purpose, the parents don't provide the explanation for Alzheimer's because that's the zip code that parents live in. Parents don't know the explanation for that.
Exactly.
We want to deflect. We want to say that it's nothing. We want to say it'll be okay, but it's not going to be okay. So when we deflect from that, we actually move into a real life situation where parents are searching, and you can no longer just say, well, we'll get to this later. So then what happens when parents don't have the answer? That doesn't mean it goes away. The child still has the question. What is it? Why he can't remember? Did I do something wrong? So then the child starts to discover on her own. And she says, well, I know who has the answer. It's my teacher. And that's why we're at this conference today, because teachers oftentimes are the helpers for parents in ways that they don't imagine. So she goes to her teacher, Ms. Shackner. And Ms. Shackner happens to be the name of my chemistry teacher in high school. One of the people that helped me get to college. And so Ms. Shackner gets not surprised, because Charlotte is a precocious kid. She doesn't know what precocious means, but she knows that she's smart. She has a watch and she can tell time. And she says that's probably because I'm precocious, whatever that means. But she disrupts Miss Shackner's class. And Miss Shackner doesn't just deflect. Miss Shackner says that's a big question for such a little kid. But she doesn't tell her that it's a bad question. She says, I'll bring something about that to class on Monday. So the teacher does the right thing. She tells the student, she says, that's a great question coming from you. Translated, you are a smart kid, you ask a smart question. That's what it means to the child.
Absolutely.
So then the teacher says, let me think about that a little bit. Let me bring something to class, which is the right thing to do. So then the teacher, of course, talks to the authorities. She brings in a counselor, and then she gets permission from the parents. She asks the parents, but this is all kind of behind the scenes in the story. And then she explains what dementia is, and she does it in 3 different words. First, she picks a subject matter that's familiar to the child. The word Alzheimer's is not familiar with the child, neither is the definition of Alzheimer's. But what is familiar? Pictures. So she paints on the board this picture of 2 brains, and she draws these blue lines throughout the brain. The kid looks at it and says, it looks like spaghetti to me. So, but the teacher then says these blue lines, because she's chose a familiar object, now she can use that familiar object to transition into new subject matter, new vocabulary. And when she transitions from that common item to a new subject matter, questions, what is that new subject matter? That new subject matter is the word Alzheimer's, it's the word neurons, and it's the word flight. So the teacher says, these 2 brains, they're both covered in blue lines, but I'm gonna take this white chalk and I'm gonna cover over some of the blue lines. And she says, this white chalk is what scientists call plaque. And when this plaque gets on these blue lines, which are called neurons, then we can't remember things as good as we could. But then she says, however, and this is the transition, however, people with Alzheimer's can remember things from a long time ago better than they can remember things today.
Oh,
and
man.
So Charlotte says, aha, I know what to do now. And so Charlotte decides to create a memory box with the help of her parents, and she fills it with all of these old sayings, old pictures, and old songs that she used to sing with her grandpa. So they go to visit grandpa again, and guess what he says? Who are you, little girl? And who is this pretty lady with you? It was her grandmother. But this time, Charlotte had a big surprise. She pulled out her memory box, and she started to showing all the pictures. And he says, and that's my little granddaughter. And they prod him saying it's her, but he just nods his head. He still doesn't know. And then she decides to sing their favorite song. And this is the song that he has sang to her since she was an infant. And what is that song? It's Summertime. And we're proud to say that the Gershwin family, who produced Oregon Best in Summertime, gave us national and international permission to use this song and the lyrics in our books. And also, we've had a national review from Kirkus Reviews, which is the leading review of children's books, that says that our book succeeds at explaining autism to young children.
Nice.
And so, the big surprise to him is that she starts to sing their favorite song. And what is their favorite song? Summertime. And she breaks into the lyrics, and she says, "Summertime and the living is easy. Your daddy's rich and your mama's good looking." And she sings the rest of the song. And so he looks at her and says, "How do you know my favorite song, little girl?" And again, she tries to say it's him. So she sings a little bit more. And he looks at her and he says, "Charlotte." And that's the surprise.
Aww, that is amazing. You are an amazing storyteller. And you definitely have a niche for the children.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is amazing. And it's definitely a hot topic when you
Yes.
talk about Alzheimer's and children. You know, it really is difficult for even adults to understand what's
That is
happening. So for a child and for you to have been considerate enough and creative to think of a way to make that process easier for them, it's so commendable.
Thank you. And what it does is it provides a tool for parents. It gives them a way to explain it. But the magic of the book is that it's not just a book to read once in a while at Christmas or bedtime. It actually is accompanied by a curriculum, and we followed the curriculum today at the conference with classroom teachers. And the curriculum we provide free. The book is produced by our foundation called the Hartage Foundation. And today we presented the book, and the Hartage Foundation donated all the supplies needed to supply the conference today for the book.
Wow.
And on top of that, we take care of families with dementia and Alzheimer's, and our foundation provides somewhere between $95,000 to $100,000 a year in work, helping families address Alzheimer's.
Wow. Thank you so much for the work that you
Thank you.
continue to do. And where are you located?
We're located in Orlando, Florida.
Okay. Can you let us know again where people can reach out for
Oh,
your
yes.
services
Oh, yes.
or you come out to speak?
For the book, you want to go to homerhartage.com. That's Homer, Homer, Hartage, Hartage, homerhartage.com. That's one of our businesses that promotes the books. The second business is Aged Care. Aged Care is a subsidiary of our foundation that provides guardianship care, professional guardianship care for folks with Alzheimer's. That's agedcareguardian.com. AGEDCARE guardians.com. And those are our two sites. We're glad to help. We're glad to talk to people about families. I will share that we have two other books. One is called Family and Professional Guardianship. And we're professional guardians, and people, of course, consult with us and pay us to provide guardianship services. But interestingly enough, we're not trying to be guardians of everybody. So we provide the family and professional guardianship as a tool to show people how to do this themselves, how to navigate the law, how to find placement, how to fund the care. If you can do that on your own, which is way, way better for you and your family than us. But when you can't, we're there. The third book will come out in August, and it also focuses on caregivers, but it focuses on what I call a crisis in caregiving. This book focuses on young caregivers. People are having kids young and older in life, 38, 40, 42. And if you're having a family that late in life and you get early onset dementia at 52, 56, then that means you have a minor at home. It's estimated that there are 3 million of these children in homes with parents with Alzheimer's. So where do they go? In America, it is still illegal for a minor to be in a home that's unsupported by a majority parent or majority adult.
Yes.
So this book deals with that, and it explains to families how to negotiate that. But it's more than that. This is an advocacy book to start to push the legislation forward to help these families and give them a way out.
Wow, you are busy, Mr. Homer. Very busy.
And this is my retirement job.
Oh my goodness.
I retired 17 years ago.
Oh my goodness. Well, this is amazing. We are happy to have you here at the Florida Family Child Care Home Association. And listeners, he gave you all the contacts. If you need any support, he does speaking engagements. Please reach out. We are so happy that he spent some time with us here today. And you just keep doing all the amazing work that you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today.